Three stocks I'm buying now, July 2021 edition. Welcome in, guys, to my favorite series we do on this channel each and every month, where I go into some stocks that I'm planning on buying in the upcoming month and why I'm planning on buying these stocks. Now, first off here, I think we've been doing this series for almost 5 years now, almost 5 years. So I just want to say, anybody that's been here for a while, thanks so much for joining me. If you're new here to the channel, you don't really watch my videos very often, you've never seen the channel before, make sure you subscribe. We do a whole lot of stocks videos all the time, stock market videos in general, sometimes straight teaching videos, sometimes getting into moves I'm making in the market and things like that, and hope you guys enjoy this. All I ask in return is that you smash that thumbs up button. That is literally it. I appreciate all you guys for being here in a massive, massive way, okay? So here today in this video, we're going to get into a little bit of a different one, okay? I have two stocks we're going to talk about that I want to buy in July 2021, but we're also going to get into two option moves that I want to basically do in July of 2021 as well, okay? So two straight stock buys and actually two option moves. So a little bit different this month, but we're going to keep with the tradition of the name, because, you know, that's just for nostalgia reasons, okay? The nostalgia, right? So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. As always, if you're looking to apply for my private stock group, you're looking for one-on-one coaching or the private Discord chat or anything like that, definitely check out the pinned comment down there. Also, as a pinned comment, we'll have the new Facebook group, which the Facebook group is amazing. That's absolutely free to join in there. So if you want to join the Facebook group, definitely check out that and also the private stock group. Those will be the two things linked as the pinned comment if you're interested down there, guys. Alrighty, so let's get into this. So as always, whenever I get into these moves, well, I'm not just going to tell you it, I'm going to tell you why I'm thinking about making the move. Let's get to the first stock up here of the bunch, and it is Corsair Gaming, CRSR. So this one's been featured the last few months here, okay? But I got to tell you why I'm so dang excited about this one, okay? So if you don't know, Corsair Gaming, much more than just the Corsair brand, which if you know anything about gaming, you've probably heard of Corsair before, okay? Gaming gear, streaming gear, PC components, gaming PCs, right? Software. And then they also own other brands like Elgato, Origin, Scuff Gaming, Gamer Sensei. So it's not like I'm just buying into Corsair Gaming. I feel like this stock is a deal and a steal and a half. Okay, a deal, steal and a half. Let's just put it that way. Elgato brand. If you're at all into streaming, you've probably heard of Elgato. You probably use their products, okay? They're big in capture and stream decks, things like that, right? Cameras coming, audio, lighting, a lot of different things like that. And they got some sort of new big product coming on July 15th. No one knows exactly what this is, but Elgato has something big coming, okay? There's talk that it could be a camera, like a dedicated camera. There's a lot of talk. It could be a virtual reality device. We don't really know, okay? There's a lot of rumors. There's a lot of things out there, but no one really knows for sure unless you work at Elgato. So July 15th, something exciting is coming, and that is obviously great news for Corsair Gaming. And streaming, you know, streaming is just going to get bigger and bigger over time, right? I mean, yeah. And then the Scuff brand, if you know anything about, you know, PlayStation, Xbox, the high-end controllers and things like that, and they're also getting into more custom devices, but they basically make more customized controllers, and they're going to start doing other devices as well, okay? So before we get into the financials, valuations, anything like that, let me just put it this way. I am bullish on gaming long-term. I am bullish on streaming long-term. So if I'm bullish on gaming long-term and streaming long-term, what is the best direct play pretty much in the stock market, in my opinion, for being bullish on gaming long-term and streaming long-term? It is this company, Corsair Gaming. There's no better direct play in the stock market, in my personal opinion, on gaming and streaming. Two industries that I think are just going to continue to grow over the next decade plus in a big, big way. And the company will continue to pivot. They love to buy out other brands. Corsair, they bought Elgato, they bought Scuff and these other brands as well. So they don't just grow Corsair in general, right? And so they've kind of built like a gaming streaming ecosystem now, like a dominant ecosystem that's absolutely amazing. Their biggest probably competitor, they got a few different competitors, but their biggest would be Logitech. Now, Logitech competes a little bit differently than Corsair Gaming. They both have, you know, their focuses. Logitech tries to focus a little more on like enterprises, businesses, and things like that. But they also are big in gaming products and things like that, okay? In Logitech, we're talking about over a $20 billion market cap. I personally believe that over the coming years, Corsair Gaming is going to become a company that has a $10 billion plus valuation on it, if not $20 billion plus. When I look at the execution this business is doing, when I look at how the business is growing, which we're going to get into, when I look at the valuation they're at currently and how much that needs to go up, and I look at all these various things, there's no doubt in my mind that over the next 5-10 years, Corsair Gaming can't grow into a $10 billion plus company, if not a $20 billion company. I absolutely believe they can, and I think it's just a matter of time. I look at what Logitech has done, and I think Corsair Gaming, I think a lot of their branding around different devices and products is even better than Logitech, and I think over time, I don't think Corsair Gaming is going to necessarily hurt Logitech. I just think Corsair Gaming just has so much upside growth. It's ridiculous. A lot of times people think it's a winner-take-all market. Does not work that way at all, okay? When it comes to Corsair Gaming, we're talking about a market capitalization under $3 billion. Now, something very important here we have to talk about. People are wondering why this stock price is not moving. Okay, let's talk about why Corsair Gaming stock price isn't moving, okay? So there's a huge investor in this company, kind of like a private equity company, that essentially they want to sell out of their shares. From my understanding, it's not because they don't believe in Corsair Gaming. It's just they're heavily invested in it. They got money they want to put in other places as well, right? And so from my understanding, they sell into any strength in the stock, and that has been holding back the stock in the short term. And that's why pretty much day in and day out, you see the stock anywhere between $30 and $34. It seems like it's been there for months now, and it's not really moving. And despite the company's execution, and despite the company's amazing numbers and all the fanfare this company has started to gather, the stock just seems not to move, because at the end of the day, there's a huge investor who continues to sell shares. Okay. And until that selling's done, it's going to be hard to get the stock price to go up in any meaningful way. However, that is not my worry, and that is not my concern. All that matters for me at the end of the day is that I build this position bigger and bigger and bigger. So when that move happens, the move is likely going to be dramatic, and it will likely be quick. Okay, this is one of those stocks that I can see when it starts moving, I can see it going up 50% to 100% in a very short amount of time. In my opinion, Corsair Gaming is not just going to be a slow, steady riser. I think when this one actually makes its move, and whenever that private equity company, the big investor, right, whenever they subside on selling their shares and they get that position mostly moved out, right, I think the move's going to be fast, because I'm looking at the shareholder base building in Corsair Gaming, and what I'm finding, it's just a bunch of people that want to hold this stock for the next 5+ years. And so no one's playing the stock from a trading perspective, because it's a bad stock to play from a trading perspective, because you've got the big seller there. So it doesn't make sense. But for an investor standpoint, where you believe in gaming and streaming long term, and you believe this company is just going to continue to expand, and the valuation's way too low right now, it is the ideal situation, because I get to buy in over the course of months rather than just have to buy in over the couple days and then it starts shooting up, right? And so under a $3 billion market cap, I think when this one moves, as far as the stock price goes, it is going to be crazy epic, okay? Let's just put it that way. It's going to be quite a move, and just no one knows exactly when it's going to be. It could be next week for all I know. It could be next month. It could be 6 months. It could be 12 months. It could be 18 months. I don't know, okay? But one thing I do know for sure is that this stock is when it makes its move, it's going to be big. Maybe it starts even making a move at some point this summer. Maybe it doesn't. We'll see. All I know is I'm a long-term shareholder, and I think I'm going to make a ton of money in this stock, okay? Look at the financials of this company. Look at this here. I mean, you're talking about in 2018, $937 million of revenue for this company, almost $1.1 billion in 2019. Last year, they do over $1.7 billion. Trailing 12 month of this company is over $1.9 billion. They're going to likely do a $2 billion plus run rate, maybe even this year. If not this year, for whatever reason, then next year. Gross profit, look at this, $192 million in 2018, $224 million in 2019, $465 million this past year, and $547 million on a trailing 12 month. If you look at net income, they went from a loss of 13 mil to a loss of 8 mil to a positive net income of 103 mil. Now on a trailing 12-month net income, almost $150 million. I think this trend is going to continue. I think this company is on its way to becoming a $300 million to $500 million a year company on the bottom line, net income. Top line is going to $3 billion plus over the coming years, in my opinion. Okay, and so When I think about that, when I think about a company that's in the gaming space and streaming space doing 300 mil to 500 mil net income a year, which is where I think this company is going over the coming years, I think about a company that's worth $10 billion plus. No doubt in my mind. And the best part of that is I don't think it's going to take 10 years to get there. I think they're doing that within the next 5 years, okay? And so in a very good place, Corsair Gaming. Now, look at the valuation on the stock. This is another thing that just gives me like so much confidence in this one. Trailing P under 20. Forward P of 16.6, come on, man, and a price to sales ratio of 1.5. I mean, you know, I look at this stock and it's just a steal deal. It's a flat out steal deal. I can't not buy this stock. I have to continue to buy this stock. Like, I feel like if I don't keep buying the stock, I'm going to look back and regret it in a big way. And I'm going to say, remember when Corsair Gaming was trading at a 16 forward PE? And they had this huge bright future in front of them, and I sat on my hands when it was at $30 a share, because long term I think this company is going to $100+ a share. And so last thing I want to do is sit on my hands here and say, you know, Wall Street, they can sit on their hands right now because they want it, right? You know, hedge funds, if they want to sit on their hands, they can, right? But at the end of the day, although it's a newer company in the public markets, I think this one's going to spread fast in the awareness, and when the stock starts to move, next thing you know, it's going to be the talk of Wall Street, similar to how Activision Blizzard became the stock of Wall Street over the past 5+ years, right? And yeah, I think also Wall Street's going to look at this from a perspective of putting it into a lot of those. Essentially, there's like different funds that invest in certain industries and sectors and things like that, right? And so I think Corsair is a perfect fit for a lot of those funds that are going to build out over time that are called like gaming funds. And so they'll own stocks like Nvidia, they'll own stocks like Activision Blizzard, and I think they're going to own stocks over time like Corsair Gaming. Especially as this company laps its 1 year since it's been public, that's when a lot of funds start saying, okay, let's start buying in, or let's start considering the stock and things like that. And so needless to say, Corsair Gaming, in my opinion, long term, it's a $100 plus stock. Right now, it's 32. And yeah, you know, whatever's going to happen short term is whatever's going to happen. All I know is I like this company a lot for the long term. I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. I'm a big believer in this one, guys. So that's the first stock up here, Corsair Gaming. Let's get to the second stock of the bunch here, and that is Voyager Digital. This is a little bit of a riskier play for me. I'd call this a high risk, high reward play, okay? As far as the ticker symbol on this one, it's VYGVF on this one, all right? It's been trading anywhere between $2 billion and $3 billion market cap recently. This is a crypto brokerage, but they have ambition to get in a lot more than just being a crypto brokerage long term. And that's what excites me about this stock. Being a crypto brokerage, cool. But I'm looking at this company become not just a crypto brokerage, but ultimately a stock brokerage. And they're expected to launch credit cards, debit cards, and banking related products as well. And you already can earn very nice interest on the cryptos they have on their exchange, okay? I'm talking everything out there. Pretty much you can get just about the best interest rates and on the most coins possible out there, pretty much from Voyager, and then versus any other crypto brokerage out there. So I'm looking at this one, and it's too darn attractive for me to pass up. Like I said, much higher risk than something like a Corsair Gaming, but I think this one has crazy upside when you consider how big a lot of these fintech companies are. And when you look at a Voyager Digital at a $2 or $3 billion market cap, woo, that's a holy smoke, because this ain't no jokas. Now, obviously, right now, we've gone into a bear market in the crypto space, right? And so if I'm looking at something like Voyager and I'm thinking about building a position up, this is actually the time I really want to do it. When cryptos are not in a great place, you have like Bitcoin, it seems like just a snap of fingers ago. Bitcoin was at 65,000, right? It's at 33,000 today. Ethereum's fallen a lot. Like almost every single crypto out there is down 30, 40, if not 50% plus from its highs reached just a couple months ago. And so this is the type of time period where I want to build a position in a Voyager Digital. The last thing I want to do is when everything's flying high, really to build out that position. For me right now, I'm looking at crypto and it's kind of in a down state. Maybe it continues to be in a down state for the next 3, 6, 12 months. I don't know. But this is the time period where I want to build a little position in a Voyager Digital bigger, right? Rather than wait for, because let's say I could wait and say, well, next time Bitcoin goes back to all-time highs, that's when I'll buy into Voyager Digital, right? Okay, let's say Bitcoin goes back to 65,000 over time or above that. Yeah, where do you think Voyager's stock price is going to be at that time? Probably exponentially higher than where it's at today, right? Never mind if Voyager was executing during that time period on other things and they got into some stocks, they got into, debit cards, credit cards, the VGX coin builds bigger and things like that. Like, where do you think Voyager's going over time, right? And so if you look at the latest numbers out of this company when they reported their last quarter, right? Total revenue was up 16x. 16x. Over, that's just ridiculous, guys. 16x. I mean, how many companies are growing their revenue 16x? It's ridiculous. Operating profit of $30 million with an operating margin of 50%. The company basically had working capital of $197 million. I mean, these numbers are absolutely epic. US $5 billion of principal volume traded in the fiscal 2021 third quarter compared to $350 million in the principal value traded in the fiscal second quarter. May new funded accounts have already well exceeded the entire month of April, exceeding 1.6 mil. I mean, no one heard of Voyager at this time last year. Let's be completely honest. It's just taken the world by storm. It's become something that's to be respected in the space, and they just continue to grow the business at an exponential rate. And the thing is, like, even if crypto is slow right now, I think Voyager is going to continue to build clients and build revenue and maybe even profitability in the short term, because this is something that wasn't known about even last year. So they have so much upside. It's ridiculous in this one. And that's what excites me so much about this one. Now, you think about valuations of Coinbase, which Coinbase's valuation is way down right now. And Coinbase is $60+ billion. You think about Robinhood and all the drama they went through. There's a lot of talk that Robinhood could go with a valuation of tens of billions. Voyager has a chance to get to where these companies are at over time. Obviously, Coinbase probably hopes to build their company into a multi-$100 billion company long term, and I would assume Robinhood has the hopes and dreams of doing that as well. Whether those companies do it or not remains to be seen. But I think Voyager is one of those stocks that has a potential to be a $10 billion plus company. If that is true, or if that's a possibility, obviously it's a huge potential win for me, right? Now, obviously, it comes with its risk. What if everybody decides to stop buying crypto forever and no one ever cares about crypto? Obviously, that would be bad for Voyager. What if Voyager never gets into stocks or things like that? Also would be devastating. However, I have a lot of faith that this company is going to become a stock brokerage as well, and get into other products and kind of build into an overall almost fintech banking related company over time. The reason I have this faith is because Steve and as well as a lot of the folks from the team have come over from E-Trade. Okay, E-Trade, obviously very, very successful company in the stock brokerage space. And I look at, Steve and a lot of these folks that have come over. If you look at a lot of their upper management team coming over from E-Trade, I say, okay, these folks come from there. What's the chances they fail at becoming a stock brokerage? I think very, very low. And there's a lot of innovative ideas where basically you could swap your cryptos for essentially stocks, or buy a stock with crypto money. There's a lot of innovative ideas a company has that I think they have a chance of executing on and beating out everybody else to kind of these things. Another thing here, I hope this doesn't happen, but I believe Voyager could get bought out by somebody like a Robinhood or Coinbase over time. Robinhood's about to be flush with cash after that IPO, right? They already got the big VCs backing them, but after that, who's to say Robinhood doesn't want to get more into crypto space? Oh, there's Voyager over here growing exponentially. Why not buy them out? And all of a sudden you own a stock brokerage, Robinhood, right? That also dabbles in a little crypto, but it's not that big, right? And you have Voyager that wants to get more into stocks over time, but is huge in cryptos, right? I don't want to call them huge in cryptos, but they're building bigger in cryptos, right? And becoming more and more relevant by the day. So why doesn't a Robinhood buy them out? Or maybe a Coinbase buys them out, right? Less competition. I don't think the FTC or anybody would block it really, because Voyager's small enough now to make the deal happen. Coinbase could easily, do some capital financing to make that happen and buy out Voyager for maybe $4 billion, $5 billion. I hope that doesn't happen, because I'm in Voyager because of that huge upside, right? I wouldn't want to just make 50% or 100% on the stock. I'm in the stock because I'm hoping to make hundreds of percent or 1,000% plus. That's why I'm willing to take this risk in this stock, right? Because it is a riskier stock. There's no doubt about it. So if I'm going to take that risk, there has to be some insane upside. So I hope it doesn't happen, but it absolutely could be a possibility and would make sense for Robinhood or Coinbase to buy out Voyager, okay? Now, like we talked about, this company has a lot of money now. okay? They're in a capital position. They raised this 100 mil back in February. They're in a capital position where they can continue to build out this team. And I'm not just talking about the management team. I'm talking about all the support infrastructure so they can build into a stock brokerage and anything they want into the future, right? And if this company can ever be mentioned in the same sentence as Robinhood and Voyager, guys, we're talking about a $10 billion plus company, if not tens of billions of dollars, okay? And I think they truly have a realistic possibility of reaching that over the next 2-3 years. That's why I'm putting my money in this stock, and I'm willing to take that risk. Like I said, it's a riskier stock than it's way riskier stock than a Corsair Gaming, but the upside in the stock over the next 3 to 5 years is pretty crazy if they can execute. And when I see the management team in place, I have some faith that they can execute, okay? And they've come so far just in the past year. Like I said, this company, you never even heard of it in the past year. Now all of a sudden they got all these customers, all this volume trading, and all these things they're working on, so it's pretty darn exciting for me, okay? So yeah, Voyager, that's the second stock up here, okay? Now, I told you guys I'm going to tell you about 2 call option plays, and then at the end I want to mention one stock that wasn't mentioned in this list here that is likely a buy as well. I'll just kind of, briefly mention that at the end, okay? But as far as call options here go, yeah, I don't play a lot of call options, but there are 2 stocks I'm absolutely interested in. And call option is essentially a bet. It's the way I view it is me placing a bet that a stock's going to go to a certain price or above a certain price by a certain date, okay? And there's 2 moves I'm planning on making likely in July. The first one up here is the smaller of the 2 moves, and that's in regards to Walgreens Boots Alliance, WBA. So this company just came out with earnings. The earnings were amazing. I'm talking revenue beats, EPS beats, and as far as guidance beats as well. They're actually going to grow faster than expected. Company's about to have a crazy amount of cash at the balance sheet when that Alliance side of their business gets sold off. And essentially, they're going to be able to use that cash to get even a bigger digital transformation going, as well as upgrade their stores, things like that, because a lot of their stores need upgrading, and they're about to have all the money in the world to do that. Roz Brewer just came over from Starbucks. She just came over a few months ago to the company, right, from Starbucks. She was a COO of Starbucks before. And then before that, she worked over as a CEO of Sam's Club, which is owned by Walmart. She's also on the Amazon board of directors, okay? So I have a high faith that she's going to execute. And the great news is in regards to the stock is this is a stock in which I'm not having to take a crazy valuation risk. So it's a turnaround play, but a lot of times in turnaround plays, you have to pay a steeper price for it. This stock's been trading at like a 9 forward P. So I don't have to pay a crazy valuation. I'm basically paying for nothing here, essentially, okay? Meanwhile, I get the whole turnaround to move over the next few years. Now, the only thing I don't like about call options, why I'm not going to build a super big call option position, plus I already have 7 figures invested in the stock, but the dividend, right? The call options, I'm not going to get the dividend. I like owning the shares straight up because I get to collect that dividend money while I wait for the stock to hopefully go back to $70, $80 plus stock over time, right? But the call options I'm looking at in regards to this one, I'm looking at some 2023s, and I'm looking at $50 strikes for this one. And if I could pay around $5 for those, that's going to be very, very attractive for me because I do think there's a decent probability this could be $70 to $80 stock by January 2023 because a lot of it's going to come down to how much faith does Wall Street have in Roz Brewer executing on this comeback of the business? And if they start to see some numbers over 2022 or even over the course of the back half of this year, then it gives them faith that Roz Brewer is the right person to lead this company. The stock will start moving because it's at such a cheap valuation. Remember, we talked about forward P of 9 range, right? It will start to move way before. Now, also, keep in mind, I know this video is about July 2021, but in 2024, I'm going to be looking for 2024 call options. Essentially, in about 2 months from now, we'll start to see 2024 call options come out. Not just in WBA, but most stocks out there. And that's really an attractive one. If I could pick up $50 strikes in WBA for, let's say, $7, $8 for 2024 expiration, there's no way I'm going to be able to say, nah, I'm not interested in that. Just no way possible, okay? So for now, in this month, I'm interested in some $50 strikes. And if the stock continues to fall, don't be surprised to hear me pick up those, okay? And in a couple months from now, when the 2024s come out, I could also be looking at $50 strikes for 2024 and maybe $7, $8 premium. That would be very darn attractive for me in this one, okay? So yeah, that's this stock here, all right? Now, let me mention the next stock up here that I'm planning on building call options in this month, and then at the end, we'll get into essentially the stock that wasn't mentioned in this list, but that's likely a buy as well for me in this month, and I'll mention that one, okay? So, if you saw this video here, it goes into Wynn Resorts. Now, I'm not going to go super in depth on Wynn Resorts because you can always check out this video if you want me to go super in depth. It's a 21-minute video. But essentially, Wynn Resorts, I just started buying some call options in this one very recently. I'm going to likely continue to build out my call option position in this one. This video goes all into the strike price, a premium I'm willing to pay, and things like that there. But essentially, Wynn packed. Okay, I mean, I've been down there, Vegas, the Strip, you know, because I live in Vegas. I've been down the Strip 2 straight weekends. Nuts, man. I mean, absolutely nuts. The Strip might have had their biggest weekend ever this weekend. Like, don't be surprised if you see some headlines that, you know, this was the biggest weekend ever in terms of gaming revenue. And don't be surprised if this is the best July in the history of July in Vegas for gaming revenues. I'm talking it. Yeah, I've never seen anything like it, okay? It's crazy, especially the weekends. And the convention business isn't even back. That's a nuts thing, man. Imagine when the convention business is back. That's all coming back in 2022. It's actually going to come back in the back half of this year, from my understanding. But 2022 is going to be the real year. And then Macau's going to start ramping back up in a massive way in 2022. Woo-wee, okay? And so, yeah, that one's that there, okay? And, yeah, let me talk about the last stock not mentioned here. By the way, if you want to check out that free Facebook group, make sure you check out Pin Comment down there. And as well as if you want to basically learn more about the private stock group, you're looking to join my private stock group, the private Discord chat, you're looking for coaching, anything like that, definitely check out the Pin Comment down there, okay? So the last stock up here, and I'm sure I'll get questions about TTCF. TTCF wasn't on the list this month. So TTCF, one is I put a lot of money into the stock. It's a 7-figure position for me now, okay? And it's trading above $20. Essentially, where I'm at with TTCF, if this one falls to $18, $17 range, which I don't think is likely, if anything, I expect more strength in the stock. But let's say, hypothetically, over the course of this month, it falls to $17, $18. I'm actually more interested in buying call options in this one. And there's another one that I'm going to be really, really interested in 2024 call options when those come out in September or October. But that's what I'm kind of interested in. I've got 7 figures plus in that stock. If it falls a bunch, I'll buy call options, because then it's just getting too darn undervalued, okay? That company's executing on a super high level. But yeah, you know, Corsair Gaming really has my attention right now. It's a much smaller position. I probably have probably 50% less money in Corsair Gaming than I do Tattooed Chef. And so for that reason, you know, I'm not interested in building Corsair Gaming to as big of a position as Tattooed Chef, but I would love to get it at least somewhat closer than it is at now, guys. So hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed learning about these stocks, me going in depth on them. And yeah, let me know if you're buying any of these stocks, if you own any of these stocks. I would love to hear from you guys in the comment section. As always, much love and have a great day.